All right, just a minute, trying to share the diary platform. Okay, so like I said, just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen already. Okay, you can see my screen. Awesome. All right, so like I said, Amdari is a platform that helps you gain real-world experience when you work on projects that cuts across career paths like data science, data analytics, and data engineering. We help data professionals go from, theoretical stage of their learning to the real-world experience, hands-on practical experience. So we don't serve people who want to learn the skill for the first time, but people who have learned the skill from maybe a particular training organization, and they are looking to gain experience by working on more projects, and in this case real world projects that cut across industries like manufacturing industry, energy industry, entertainment, fashion, just to mention but a few, right? And we also focus on technologies like Excel, Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, SQL, Python, R, AWS, Azure, and Mage, quite a number of tools that we focus our projects on. What we do with this is to help you enhance your skills in these tools, in these industries, and also in different specializations. So you can work on projects that cut across financial services, like I mentioned, energy industry, healthcare, gaming industry, agriculture, aviation, e-commerce, just to mention a few of that. And I mentioned that the platform caters for not just beginners, but even intermediate and advanced professionals. What that means is at any point in your career as a data professional, you can find Amdari very, very useful, because Amdari is not just here to serve entry-level data professionals. Even at the point where, you're already employed and you're looking to get maybe a promotion, you're looking to update your skill sets, you're looking to have more projects in your portfolio, or you're just looking to, work on exciting projects, either out of curiosity, out of trying to, learn more and do more. You can jump on our platform Amdari, and you're able to, have access to over 200 projects that cut across the different career paths that I mentioned, which is data engineering, data analytics, and data science. So this is what the platform is all about. So this user has created an account, and let's navigate to the dashboard. Again, I'm doing this for the sake of people who are just joining for the first time. Now, the platform, like I mentioned, can be accessed when you type in www.amdari.io, and you're able to create your account and you get redirected to the dashboard. When you create an account for the first time, you have access to 2 free projects under each of the career paths, making it 6 free projects. So under data science, you have access to 2 free projects. Under data analytics, you have access to 2 free projects, and under data engineering, you have access to 2 free projects, as you can see right here on my screen. So you can see that this tab says free. We have the ongoing tab and we have the completed project tab. This is free project in data science, and it's an intermediate level project. And this is the project cohort analysis for assessing customer retention in e-commerce industry. By the way, these projects are curated from real businesses, so they are not just random practice projects. And when you take a look at our projects, you'll notice that they are different from the normal one that you come across. These are validations and confirmations and feedbacks that we've gotten from industry leaders, thought leaders who have interacted with the platform. Another interesting thing about Amdari platform is the fact that the projects are guided. So before I show you the guided parts, let me show you the fact that there are other free projects in data analytics, like I mentioned, and data engineering. So you can see the 2 free projects under each of the categories and the level of the project. So let's say I select this project, for example, product campaign metrics, comparing marketing campaigns against competitors, and I click on start project. I get redirected to this page that shows me all of the guided videos that we have here. So this is the data sets that you get to work with. You can see for this particular project, there are 4 different data sets, right? So this data set helps you to, work on the project as you see in the guided videos. I'll show you what the guided video looks like in a minute. Just a minute. Sorry about that, please. All right. So for the installation, we also did another thing because we are very conscious of the fact that we want this to be properly guided. So we have a section which we call the intro and the installation video. This part allows you to have to watch videos on how to install certain tools that you'll be using when working on your project. So it guides you properly on how to install your tools. Then we have the project overview. This allows you to get started proper. This is where we call project solution videos. That's where you start watching solution videos to the project. Now, when you click on play, for example, you get to see the project coordinator that will be taking you on the project. So let this just play. All right. Just a minute. Throughout the project process, right? And when you're done watching the project, watching the guided videos, you're able to click on submit your solution. When you click on submit your solution, you're redirected to this page of your project file and images of your dashboard right here. You're also able to select the tools that you used while working on this project. And when you're done filling all of this information, you scroll down and submit your project. When you submit your project, you get redirected to this page right here, which is your portfolio page, right? So once you're redirected to your portfolio page, you can see projects I have worked on. So this shows you all of the projects that you've worked on at any point in time. And you can click on any of these projects, or rather, a recruiter can click on any of these projects. First off, how do they even have access to this? By copying this link and sharing with them. You can see that it says copied to clipboard. This is where you copy your link. This is where you share your link. When you click this, it asks you to share with them on X, share on Facebook, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp, right? So that's how you get to share your portfolio link, or you can just copy it here and it tells you that it has been copied. When you share it with them, they don't have to create an account with Amdari to be able to see this. Excuse me. They don't need to
Sorry,
have
Mama.
thank you. They don't need to have an account with Amdari to be able to create a project. Excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with my bed. All right. I think I'm good now. Okay, so they are able to have access to this, and they can click on view this project and they see what you have worked on. By scrolling down, they also get to see your dashboard visualization, right? So this is what the platform looks like when you share your portfolio with recruiters. And we also have another aspect of the platform that I find very exciting, and that's the job board. As a data professional, or even as any professional at all, when you're done with your training, the next thing you're looking for is job opportunities, where to navigate, where to search, how to apply, right? And one of the problems that we're solving at Amdari goes beyond trying to connect you to, projects to build your portfolio. When you're done building the portfolio, you need to apply. So we have created this job board for you as a data professional to be able to have access to different jobs and apply easily and seamlessly. You don't need to search, you can see that we have quite a lot, and we fetch these jobs every day automatically. You can see how long the list is. So imagine the luck that will smile on you when you apply for nothing less than 10 jobs via the Amdari platform every day, at least 10 jobs. There is something called law of averages, right? And what that means is when you try and try and try, the odd will be in your favor one day, right? The odd will not always be against you. It will one day be in your favor. So for every try that you make, maybe you try 10 times, one will definitely lead to maybe an interview, or maybe five would lead to an interview or less, and most likely one will lead to a job. So that's why we encourage data professionals to always try as much as they can to keep applying, and that's why we have the job board right here for you, and you can have access to this when you jump on the platform. Now this is the project page, which makes it easy, and in the next couple of days we'll be having some updates on the platform. We are constantly working on making sure that Amdari platform is attractive and serves you better. And guys, for even existing users, trust me, you'll be excited about the new change that you'd see on Amdari. I'm actually excited to share that with you. I really cannot wait. All right, so this is what we have. When you come here, tool, you can filter by level, you can filter by industry, and you can filter by specialization. And when you do that, you can see that we have this card right here that tells you the project name, a brief description, the career path, and the level and the project contributor. When you click on start, you get to see the details of this project and the key learning points, right? Which is here: exploratory data analysis, capacity assessment, network optimization, and a whole lot more, as you can see right here as I scroll. On start project, that's when you get redirected to the page that I have showed us already. So that's how amazing Amdari platform is. And I don't really think that anybody should sleep on a platform like Amdari. So let's go to the other page. I've already showed us this page. So when you try to upgrade the platform, you get redirected to this page. You can either pay monthly or yearly. For the monthly payments, you have access to individual plans or training organization. This one is strictly for organizations who are looking to, create that internship experience for their students, so they can access the platform via this and, give their students that internship opportunity. Excuse me.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session, as I always love to say. So, unfortunately, seems Omomi is having some issues, and so we're just going to go ahead while we wait for Ona to, come back. So, we know the reason why we are here. That's the reason why we all joined the session today. We did not join because we had time and we decided that, I have a lot of time on my hands today, and why don't I be a part of the session? Or maybe that was the case for you. Okay, but for some of us there was something that we were looking to get, something that we actually are looking forward to. And what is that? To learn more, to see how we can do better in any path that we actually find ourselves at the moment. Today, we are going to be focused more on the data analyst and the data scientist. Maybe we'll find a way to tie that to the data engineer as well. But anyways, that's what we are going to be doing today. I usually love to begin my sessions by just explaining what communication is. All right. I know you know what communication is about. Of course, if I was to ask you, oh, Rita, can you give me definition of communication? You would be able to do so. You would give me a fantastic definition. And that definition might be the definition that's gotten from the Oxford Dictionary or the definition that is gotten from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. But you know, your normal definition of communication. But to me, that's different. The definition is different. And what is communication to me? Communication is I speak, you speak, and we all speak. Okay? I speak, you speak, and we all speak. That's what communication is to me. Of course, everyone might not be able to speak because we don't want a situation whereby we have it's quite rowdy. So this person is unmuting, that person is unmuting, everyone is unmuting. So what would be that avenue for you to go ahead to speak? It's by using the chat box. Now I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to come back. So we have Omomi. Omomi is back now to take us through what she was taking us through, which of course was very fantastic. And then I'll come back and then we test out communication. I'll see you soon.
Thank
Okay.
you so
Come on,
much,
me.
I said. Thank you. I'm so sorry, guys. I had no idea that it expired, so I just realized that. So sorry for that break in transmission. Thank you, Bimbo. All right, please, where did I stop? Because I didn't know that I was in, and I was done talking. I realized that, oops, I was out of data. Um, okay, thank you. Awesome. That means I was almost done. I was wrapping up. So I was just showing you what the pricing plan looks like for professional. So I said that you have access to the platform from the 200 projects to the job board to the portfolio builder, work reference letter, and so much more with just 49,000 naira under the monthly plan, right? And the unlimited plan gives you access to this exact benefit, but it's a one-time payment and you have access to the platform forever, like life, right? It's a one-time payment and you don't have to renew your subscription at any point in time. So that's one of the exciting things about the unlimited plan. And I mentioned that the difference between the monthly plan and the yearly plan is with the yearly plan, you get to save 20%. So you can see the pricing on the yearly plan. Instead of 599,000, you're paying 479,000. You're saving over 100,000. Same benefits, just so much more in between, updates and upgrades. And just in case pricing increases at any point, it doesn't affect you within that 12 months because your subscription. So that was what I was explaining before my internet just went kaboom. All right. So thank you so much, guys, for following. I'll be handing over to Ise briefly. Samuel, I'll be taking your question after the session. It's important that Ise takes over. And I know he has already started doing a brief introduction, but I still need to introduce Ise, right? So let me do that quickly. I'll be sharing my slides so I can, all right. Let me know once you can see my screen. All right, it's back up. Okay, so I've already done an introduction of Amdari and I did a brief introduction of myself. My name is Omomi Victoria Samson. I'm a business and tech executive with over 5 years of experience working as a software engineer, working as a and the product manager, and pretty much I've been in the tech entrepreneurship space for like 2 years now. So it's been an exciting ride, but a lot of bumps in between. But yeah, that's how we grow. So I have a proven track record of delivering impactful results across various industries that I have worked in. I've worked in edtech, film tech, and also marketing agency. And I'm passionate about technology and building products that are impactful, that adds value and changes people's life. Anything transformative, I am all in. So yes, I don't know why I'm a fan of transformation, but I think it's just a beautiful sight to see. So yeah, this is it about me. I'll be moving on to our facilitator for today. That's Isosa. He is a seasoned technology professional with about 5 years of diverse experience spanning data analytics, business analysis, power platform development, AI engineering. The lead in charge of training operations at Analytics, ISOSA has cultivated a rich background in various roles like data analyst, marketing and strategy, business, power platform engineering, and he has worked with companies across US, UK. Yeah. I say you need to show me the way. I don't know how you're doing all of these things, but I need to learn from you. Okay, he operates as a consultant and freelancer and actively contributes to digital transformation initiative. He has trained over 1,005 participants and further solidifying expertise in the field. And you guys are in good hands and safe hands. And for it, but from people who have learned from ISOSA, one of the things that I know has been constant is how impactful his sessions have been, how much of a great teacher he is, how much of an amazing facilitator. Like he pretty much holds you by the hand. I mean, when it comes to teaching, there are certain traits that you want to see in your facilitator or trainer. ISOSA possesses all of it, not just takes it slowly, but he listens and pays attention. So feel free, ask questions when you have it. He's definitely going to provide detailed answer to it. And his name is his LinkedIn handle or ID, so you can reach out to him and connect with him after the session. But I'll be handing over to him to take today's practical session, which is going to be on how to perform effective data cleaning and pre-processing using Microsoft Excel. I'd allow you meet Ise and Ise meet you. So Isosa, it's over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Omobi. When you're saying all of those nice things, I began to wonder, is she talking about ISIS? And of course, yeah. Hello, everyone, and of course, you got to see the face earlier, and for some of us, we've probably seen the face a whole lot more, and we are going to be having fun. I talked about communication earlier, and I talked about the fact that we are going to be testing out communication, and we are going to do that, of course. The session today would be quick. I'm going to just make I'm going to state the facts from the beginning. Okay, the session today would be quick. That's number one. We're going to go straight to the point, get what we need, and then we are done. Number two is that we are going to be having fun. I usually say this in every one of my sessions. If there's something that you will definitely get, is that you are going to have fun. Because something that I've noticed over time is that adults don't have fun. Remember last week when you took your kid out to get ice cream? You got ice cream for your kid, but you did not get ice cream for yourself. Remember last 2 weeks, or let's say yesterday, when you did something amazing for your kid? Or let's say you went to the park. Okay, so you went to the park with your kids. You took your kids to the park because of your kids, not because of yourself. We are always so busy. Oh, we have to take care of the kids. We have to go to work. We have to make money. If you have spouse, so you have to spend time with your spouse. And we don't find time for ourselves at the end of the day. Okay, so just like Ayode you mentioned. And so one thing that I usually gone for, one thing that I usually want to ensure that you get in each and every one of my sessions is fun. You are going to learn. That's a given. But you are going to have fun. And then you would forget all of your worries. Let's say in the next 1 hour. Maybe after the 1 hour, maybe you might think about things again. But for now, it's all going to be having fun. All right. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead to share my screen so we take a look at what we have for today. Like I said, it's going to be quick. When I say quick, I don't mean 5 minutes, okay? But it's going to be quick, straight to the point. We get what we need, and then we move on. All right. So we are going to be using a case study for the session today. We've had, if this is the first time in an Amdari session, an Amdari practical training session, then you have missed a lot. It's not really me trying to make things more than it seems using hyperbole. Of course, that's what is called in literature. No, but that is actually the case. If you know you were not in the first session or the second session, the first time we took a look at Lucas Studio, how you can use Lucas Studio as a data analyst or as a data scientist. Lucas Studio is a very fantastic platform. Then we took a look at data modeling. Now you can go ahead to build entity relations diagrams, the ERD, using what? Lucas Studio. Now we are going to be doing something more home, something more closer to home. Taking a look at how we can clean data. All right, how we can clean data using what? Microsoft Excel. Not just cleaning data, but also pre-processing. And that is what we're going to be taking a look at today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll share my screen. Just give me a moment. All right, and we're in business. So we're going to take a look at this. And one thing I usually like to say is that I love using the case study approach. Anyone that knows ISOServe, maybe you've been in one of my sessions, maybe you just know ISOServe, maybe in one of the numerous live sessions, you've been able to come across me. And maybe I don't know, but you have. One thing that you know for a fact is that I usually love going through the route of what you need in reality. And I'll rephrase so you understand what I mean. Many times people go ahead to learn, but as long I understand that we are adults, okay? And as adults, when adults learn, it's not because you like learning. Now, don't get me wrong, you can love learning, that's great. But when you learn as an adult, it's usually because you are looking to make more Benjamins, get a job, be able to make a transition from what you are doing at the moment into something better. And since that's the kind of learning that you are looking for, the approach that I usually take is one that tells you about what you would actually find in a real business scenario, going via the case study approach. And today, we are going to see how data cleaning comes via a case study approach. Not just learning about, oh, this is what data cleaning is, talking about telltales, or definition of data cleaning. Data cleaning is when you clean data, and then we go into types of data cleaning. You have this kind, no one has time for that. This is data cleaning. Get it done, because at the end of the day, that is what the recruiter would want to know. Can you come in to make things better for my organization, or can you not? I'm not interested if you can give me 2 definitions, or if you know the 5 types of data cleaning. Can you actually carry that out? By the way, I never said there are 5 types of data cleaning. So you don't go out there and say, oh, I just said there are 5 types of data cleaning. That's just, okay. that's just by the way, okay? But before we move on, it's TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And the fact we are here right now, your Friday just got 2 times better. Your Friday has been going well. You came back from work, you were relaxing, you're already looking forward to the weekend. When you can relax, you can just spend time, you can watch movies, that favorite reality TV show that you're usually looking forward to. And your Friday is already going great. But the fact that you are here right now, your Friday just got 2x better. The fact that you are here right now, you are going to be having lots of fun. And for us to all be in that same plane, for us to all be in that same mindset, for us to be in that same wave, if I'm using physics now, I want you to go ahead and send TGIF to the chat box. Okay, so go ahead to send the TGIF to the chat box. Thank God it's Friday, because we are going to be having fun. So send the TGIF to the chat box. Thank you very much, Bimbo. So Bimbo says TGIF, Ezekiel says TGIF. What about the rest of us? More responses. We are 40 on the call. I need nothing less than 20 responses. So fantastic. TGIF, TGIF, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, fantastic. It's going to be a great one. It's going to be a great one. I would give you some disclaimers as we are moving to, as we are, going through the sessions. Some disclaimers such as, oh, sir, as a data analyst or as a data scientist, would I always be cleaning data? Some persons wonder, let's say I get a job as a data analyst and I was given data set, and I was given a data set or maybe data from a database to analyze. The first thing I would do, would it be cleaning data? We get to see. Now, Technova. Oh, yeah, before Technova, a little bit about me. So, yeah, these are some boring details. Okay. So I thought we'd already gotten into Technova, but this face just adds to creep up. So, yeah, I'm Aisha, sir. As you can see from the name tag, Aisha Sagbalaho. You can call me Aisha. Any of them goes really. And I have experience for spanning data analytics, business analysis, power platform development, and predictive AI engineering. There are some other fun things about me, things that are currently not on your screen. For example, I can play chess. I'm a very good chess player. I can play football. I have about 11 medals from football. Okay. I can speak French. Okay. But yeah, enough about me. Let's go into the details for today. Okay. Anyways. The business introduction. What is that's a funny one, Ayadeji. Okay, so so the medals I have, they are from back in school. Okay, so back in school, back in the university, I was very much involved in sports. So, anyways, so the business introduction. Technova. Technova is a technology company, no problem. All right, and what are they doing? They collect and analyze large volumes of customer data to confirm product development, enhance customer experience, and optimize operations. They are a mid-sized technology company. They are a tech firm. And one of the things that they do as part of their service, they help to get as much data from customers as possible to go ahead to analyze and to understand, oh, these are what the things that customers like. These are the things customers like to do. This is what we need to do to enhance our business. Or we can go ahead to collect customer data on your behalf, on behalf of another organization. Go ahead to analyze that data on behalf of that other organization and go ahead to give the other organization data insights. That is what they do. It's all about processing. It's all about gathering data and analyzing data. You are a data analyst with Technova, and you are one of the persons that are in charge of what? Data analysis. Because of course, you are a data analyst. It's just like I think maybe I'd say tomato. All right. But yeah, the problem statement. What is the issue? We know what Technova does, but what is the issue? The issue with Technova is that they need clean and accurate data. At the moment, they have data, no problem, all good. But the data is not clean and it's not accurate. And that can pose a lot of problems. Okay, that can pose a lot of problems. And so they need someone to come in to help them clean that data, ensure that the data format is consistent, and that when you go ahead to carry out the analysis by building a dashboard, by utilizing functions, that everything comes out nice and that you are able to communicate insights appropriately due to the data being clean. That is the problem. The rationale for the project, why are we doing this? We want to improve data accuracy, because when data is dirty, it's like saying the data is not accurate. Okay, so improving data accuracy is one of the things we are looking out for. We also want to ensure consistent data formats and, of course, enhance analytics. Like I mentioned, today's session is going to be very direct. We're going to hit the nail on the head, and then we are going to be done. Hitting the nail on the head is going to be done carefully, because we don't want the nail to pass through the wood and then would have a disaster. Now, don't ask me why I'm using weird analogies, because where does nail come in? Where does the nail come in? All right, like hitting the nail on the head, the nail passing through the wood. What am I would say? Don't apologies, okay? But but just stick with me, okay? Stick with me. So these are the rationales, the rationale for the project. What we are looking to, the reason why we're actually carrying out this project. And of course, we also have the aim, what we are looking to achieve. And number one, improve analytics. Clean data would help you ensure that your analytics is what is on point. And of course, we have consistent formats, that the data is consistent. We don't have situations whereby in the column we are having numbers, we are having text in the single column. And of course, we have enhanced clarity. For the data to be clear, we take a look at the data makes sense. And not that you take a look at the data and the data doesn't make sense. Okay? So these are the things that we are looking at. And we are going to be working with Microsoft Excel. Excel is a very powerful tool, and only a handful of persons actually know how to work with Excel. Many persons think that Excel is Microsoft Word. You know your Microsoft Word, okay? That Excel is Microsoft Word, but for numbers. Just the way you have Microsoft Word that you go ahead to type documents, you go ahead to get things done using your Microsoft Word, that Excel is similar. You still type on Excel, but it's for numbers. It's for creating tables, ensuring that your tables are well arranged, ensuring that everything is nice, everything is great. That is far from the truth. Yes, that is part of what you can use Excel to do, but it's a whole lot more than that. Excel is a fantastic analytical tool. It might not be as powerful as every other business intelligence tool, but Excel can very well hold its own. So we are going to be working with Microsoft Excel. And of course, the data sets. I'm going to send the link to the data sets to the chat box. Now, if you are unable to practice alongside, there's no problem. Just ensure you listen in. Later on, you can get the recording. The recording will be uploaded to the YouTube page. So you can go over there and get to go through the session, and of course, practice alongside. So I'm going to send the link to the data set to the chat box, so you can also click on that to download to try to follow along. Okay, to try to follow along. So you can also just click on that. Once you click on that link, the data set is going to be downloaded immediately. But moving on, this is what the data set looks like. When you download the data set, this is what is going to look like. So you can open up the data set, and you can open up the data set in Microsoft Excel, and then you're going to see something like this. Okay, you're going to see something like this. This data set is dirty. A lot of cleaning would need to be put into place. One thing that I want to address is a very common question I usually get. One thing I want to address is something that many persons ask me using emails or sending me emails, just sending me a message. Okay, I get many questions because many sessions I usually say questions that people ask me, because if you take a look at my DMs, you are gonna scream. Okay, but yeah, I usually take out the time to go through the ones I can and reply. All right, but yeah. So one question that I've seen a whole lot is that, as a data analyst, am I always going to be getting dirty data? Oh, I just got into the company today. The company wants me to carry out analysis, and then they provide the data set to me. And then when the data set comes along, I take a look at the data set and I notice it's dirty. Is that always going to be the case? The first thing I'm going to do with my data set, is it going to be cleaning? Now, to be fair, to be factual, it's not so likely that you're going to get a data set that is very dirty. Now, I don't mean that once you get a data set, the data set is going to be analysis ready. The structure might not be so right at that moment, and so you might need to go ahead to improve the structure in a bit or two to get things right, so you can go back and, of course, go ahead to analyze your data and get your insights. That's the fact. All right, so you might need to change the structure a bit. But is the data set going to be dirty? Like, oh, you have missing data. Maybe there are some values that are missing. Maybe you have issues like printing non-fitable characters. Things are just looking rugged. Is that always going to be the case? No. That's due to the numerous things that have been put in place now to ensure that data is always clean. For example, talking about your constraints. For the data engineers in the house, you know what I mean by constraints. When a data engineer is going ahead to extract the data set, to push it to the database, to extract the data, to extract the data from the data source and push it to the database, there are usually things that are carried out. A cleaning process is already carried out beforehand. Doing things like dropping duplicates, dropping null values, and using constraints. That's when you're creating your tables on the SQL. Constraints such as not null values. That means when an individual or a customer is looking to input data, they cannot submit an empty sheet. And so there would never be a time whereby you have missing data. Many times now, when you are filling a form, you are going to get fields that are required. Many times now, when you are filling a form, you are going to get fields that are formatted, that you have data validation. And what do I mean by that? If it's a field that should contain only numbers, you cannot go ahead to type in text. If it's a field that should contain only text, you cannot go ahead to type in numbers. And so what all of that now end up being is that at the end of the day, the data is not as dirty as it used to be. And so as a data analyst or a data scientist, don't go expecting that you get into the business. The first thing you're going to be given is a data set that is dirty. Like I said, the data might not be well structured, so you might need to carry out some structuring. But in terms of just looking dirty, you know, like a kid that plays in the mud, okay? So that kind of debt, you're not going to see something like that most of the times anyway. So there can still be outliers. All right, they can still be outliers. So that's something that I want us to understand. But what we are going to do now is that we're going to take a look at how you can actually clean a very dirty data that is really dirty, the different functions that you can use to carry out preprocessing. What is preprocessing? Preprocessing means that you are processing before processing. That is what it means. You're what? You are processing before processing. That is, you are actually working on the data sets before you work on the data sets. That means you are actually sorry about the oh my god, sorry about the tautology, okay, just use the play of words, but you get what I mean, okay? So that means that you are actually preprocessing. You are going to go ahead to work on the data set before your actual analysis. And this is where data cleaning comes in. Taking a look at my screen, what we are going to clean, you notice that we have the first name column and the last name column. The first name column, this data set is very dirty. It's like some of the dirtiest you can see. And also one other thing to note, yes, I don't want to forget this. I'm glad I remembered. Okay. One other thing to note is that there's actually a time whereby you are more likely to get dirty data than clean data. There's actually a time where you are more likely to get dirty data than clean data. And when is that? When you web scrape. Web scraping. What is web scraping? Web scraping is you getting data set from a website. All right, scraping the website and then of course loading that into your database. Many that's what data engineers actually do, web scrape. As a data analyst, you can also web scrape. Power BI has an inbuilt web scraping feature, so you can also use that. Maybe you don't know, but you just learned something right now. The Power BI has a web scraping feature. All right, but when you web scrape, 9 times out of 10, okay, let me not exaggerate, 8 times out of 10, the data set will be dirty. All right, except if maybe whoever web scraped, they've already gone ahead to clean the data before they sent it to you, and then the data set will be clean. All right, so I just wanted to ensure that we understand. So later on, someone doesn't tell you, oh, your data set is always going to be dirty, and then you tell them what ISIS said, and they're like, oh, ISIS doesn't know what it's saying or something. All right, no, that's okay. So I just wanted to make that known. So when you're web scraping, it's very likely the data set will be dirty. There are a couple of reasons for that. That's because I'm not going to go deep into that because that's not what we are taking a look at today. But the reason for that is because you are scraping the front end of the website and you're not actually getting direct access to the database at the back end. And so the front end of the website contains so many things. It's let's just put that, let's just pause at that point. Okay. Just know that when you web scrape, it's very likely the data set will be dirty. All right. So taking a look at this now. The data set, the first name and the last name column, that is where we are having issues. We are going to do abracadabra on those two columns. We are going to make the columns nicer. At the moment, if you've downloaded the data sets and you open it up, you notice that, or you take a look at my screen. Let me also try, zooming out. This will make things better. If you take a look at my screen, you would see that we, on the first name column, you have Johnson and you have spaces. You have things like spaces, you have things like non-printable characters, you have things and similar things in the last name. We are going to be working with a couple of functions. We are going to be working with the clean function. We are going to be working with the trim function. We are going to be working with the substitute function. And we are going to be working with the proper function. And don't worry, you would understand what each and every one of these functions mean and what they do. But we are going to come over here. I prepared something over here for us to understand what the clean function actually does. So we take it step by step till we get to our goal. The clean function removes things from your data set that cannot be printed. You know your printer. When you go ahead to print, you print on the printer, you see printable characters on the printed paper. All right? Seeing all of those things, those are printable characters that can be printed. All right? Unprintable characters are characters that cannot be printed, cannot really be detected by the printer. Unwanted information, exactly. Things that are not, it's not a diagram, it's not a symbol, it's not the symbols. Note, non-printable characters are not symbols. Symbols are printable characters. It's not your art or print. They are just things that don't make sense. Take a look at the screen right now. You would see that you have boxes. These boxes are non-printable characters. And so the clean function would help us take off the non-printable characters. Let's see how it works. When working with a function on Excel, you need to convert Excel. You need to do some kind of conversion. You need to convert Excel from an Excel that speaks what? Text, to an Excel that speaks what? Functions. Excel is bilingual. Excel can speak two languages. And at every point in time, you need to decide the language you want Excel to speak. By default, Excel speaks the language that makes sense, the language everyone understands. I'm talking about your text. But when we are trying to carry out calculations, arithmetics, use formulas, use functions, then we need to ensure that Excel leaves the first language and moves to the learned language. And what is the learned language? The function speaking Excel. How do we convert Excel from a text speaking Excel to an Excel that speaks what? The language of functions. It's by using the equal to operator. Okay? It's by using the equal to operator. So I'm going to come over here and I'll just click on this, get my active cell in there, and then I would insert my equal to operator. By doing this, Excel has now converted. What's the difference? Now, let's say I didn't do that and I just typed in clean. This is just text. But when I type in equal to, and then I type in clean, you see I'm getting suggestions. Those suggestions are what? Are functions. This is Excel telling you that right now, I'm all about the functions. So we're going to be working with a clean function. I'm going to go ahead and I'll type in clean. I open my bracket and then I will click on the text I want to clean. In this case, this Anderson. And then I'll close my bracket and hit enter. And I get Anderson. Anderson. What just happened? Magic. What just happened? Excel took off the non-printable characters and gave us only characters that can be printed. And this is the same for the toner. So I can come over here inside my equal to, type in clean, and then I'll click on toner and then close the brackets and hit enter. And I can see this is now clean. That is how the clean function works. Like I said, we are going to be very direct. We're going to grab what we need. We're going to have fun, and we're going to call it a day. And then you go to bed smiling, all because you were in the session. So this is how we've been able to take off the non-printable characters from Anderson and what's toner using what clean. What does the trim do? The trim takes off excess space. Trim takes off what? Excess space. You know the space, your space bar, you're typing and you use space bar to give space. Okay. Sometimes you might have a situation whereby you have multiple spaces. Something like this. Something like food is good. Okay, something like this. Food is good. So by taking a look at food is good, you'll notice that there's a big gap between what? Food and is, and between is and good. And that's all because of the numerous spaces. So by using the trim function will remove the multiple space. But will it remove all of the space? Let's see. First thing I'll do, of course, is to convert Excel from a text speaking Excel to a function speaking Excel. So I use my equal to, and then I would open my bracket. Oh, sorry, not open my bracket. I need to type the function first of all. Okay, so I'll type in trim, and then I'll click on this Anderson that I'm looking to trim, and I'll close the bracket and hit enter. And then I'll do the same for toner. I can also just autofill by dragging this to the bottom. All right, this so this is called your absolute referencing, but that's a topic for another day. Okay, so this is toner. So over here you can see it's the same function. Okay, but you notice something. Trim took off the spaces, but not all the spaces. It's just like when your kid says, "Oh, I don't want the vegetables." Okay, I don't want to eat the vegetables. Okay, and then let's say you have spinach. You have spinach, and then you have some tomatoes in there, and then you have you just have things. You have things going. You're telling your kid that you have to eat your vegetables. Vegetables are good. You need your nutrients. All of those things all of those things you tell them. Okay, and then they're like, "Oh, but I don't want this," and then you decide to be deceptive. How do you become deceptive? So maybe you decide to take off the spinach that's at the top of the plate. You take it off while you've buried another one at the bottom. If you don't do this, I'm giving you a tip now, so maybe you can try this later. So while you buried another one at the bottom, so you have another spinach at the bottom of the plate of food, and then now the spoon, you now use the spoon to take, you use the spoon to take the food, and then you have the food coating. So whatever kind of food you have, so maybe mashed potatoes, or maybe you have rice or something. So that's now at the top, and then the vegetable is in it, and then they go ahead to eat. They might maybe notice later that there's a vegetable, but anyways, it's already in them, and that's the goal. But why bring that up? That is the same thing. That's the same thing that trim does, the trim function. This time, the trim function is you, and the trim function is trying to be deceptive. Now, of course, it's not really deceptive. There's a reason why the trim function does not take off all the spaces. But what the trim function does is just like what you do when you place the vegetable at the bottom of the spoon or the bottom of the plate. They take off all of the spaces and leave just one. I'm going to use the trim function for this food. Okay, I'm going to do something like this. Let's say, so you see what I'm talking about. I'll say trim, and then I'll click on this food is good, and then I'll close and hit enter. You see what happens? I have what? Food is good. So because trim does not want to take all of the vegetables, because trim knows that vegetables are good for you, your legumes. Okay, they're called legumes in French, anyways. Okay, so the trim knows that vegetables are good for you, and so they decide to take off the ones you are seeing and then leave single spaces, because at the end of the day your spaces are good. It could be that the spaces are actually relevant on that text, just like the way I have food is good right now. It doesn't make sense that there should no longer be any space on food is good, and then we just have food is good together. And so what the trim does is that it always leaves one space just in case you don't want that to be taken off. But how can you actually take off all of the space? You can use the substitute function. I'm going to go ahead to use the substitute function and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, substitute. It's the literal meaning of what substitute means. Take off one, bring in another. Easy as pie. So I'm going to take off space and then I'll bring in another space. So let's say for this Anderson, I'm going to say equal to substitute. I can use the substitute function on this Anderson with a single space or this Anderson with multiple spaces. So I can say substitute the text. What text am I looking to edit? So I'm going to click on this. I have my comma. The next thing I have is my alt text. What is the alt text? The alt text is talking about what do you want to take off? What is that thing that is not relevant to you that you are looking to take off? In this case, is the space. I don't want the space. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I would insert my double quotes and give a space and close my double quotes. This is how you tell Excel space. You cannot just go ahead and type in space without a double quotes. That won't work. So you need to have double quotes and then give a space between both quotes. Then Excel knows that, oh, you're talking about space. Okay, thumbs up for you. You're doing well. Okay, so next I'm now going to say comma, then the new text. The new text is what do you now want to be in the place of what? Space. If I want to take off space and put the number 5, I'm going to insert the number 5 in there. But I want to take off space and put nothing. How do I tell Excel I want nothing? Because nothing is nothing. How can you say nothing when nothing is nothing? How can you show nothing when nothing is nothing? I think I'm going to spend a lot of time thinking about that after the end of the call. All right, but maybe, who knows, maybe our bet Einstein also thought about that as well. How can you show nothing when nothing is nothing? It's just like the zero. If you're a mathematician in the house, you know about the number 0. Is the number 0 actually nothing? Is the number 0 actually nothing? So you have mathematicians that, 0 is not actually nothing, because anyways, this is not a math class. Okay, this is not a let's move on. So how do we now tell Excel that I want nothing? It's easy. All I need to do, I insert my quotes, my double quotes, and I close my double quotes without anything in the middle. So previously, when I said I wanted space, I gave space. Now that I want nothing, I just open my quote, close my quote immediately. And then I can decide to end here. This other stuff, I can see I have instance number. Instance number is talking about how many spaces do you want to replace. So if I want to replace the first two spaces, I insert a number 2. But in this case, I want to replace all spaces, so I don't really need that. So I'm just going to close the bracket and I'll hit enter. And just like magic, all of the spaces have been taken off. So how do we apply that on this Johnson? What we want to do, we want to have a column that is called full name. And that column would combine Johnson and Emily together. It's going to be fun. We'll get to see how we can do that. But before we move into that, I want to also show you how the concat works, the concat function. The concat is used to merge two names together, two text. They don't have to be names. In this case, I want to merge Anderson and Turner. Let's say we have a person that the name is Anderson Turner. That's the first name and the last name. So I'm going to go ahead and I will insert my equal to operator, and then I go ahead and I type in concat. So I say concat. So there's a function called concat. I open my bracket. I want to add in Anderson, and I also want to add in Turner. So I'll say Anderson, comma, and then what? Turner. And if I close the bracket, I see Anderson Turner. But Anderson Turner does not have space, because Anderson and Turner, they are two different names. Before, we've been battling taking off spaces, and now we want to add in spaces. How do we get that done? It's easy. All I need to do, I come over here where I have my L11, that's my Anderson. Before these two texts are combined, I'm going to add in a space. I'm going to add in a what? A space, and then I hit enter, and I have Anderson Turner with the space. What about if I want Anderson to start with a capital letter A, because at the end of the day, Anderson is a name, Turner is a name, and from what they taught back in school, they should be in elementary school. Okay, that's in primary school. You get to learn about the definition of a noun. And what's a noun? A noun is the name of any person, animal, place, or thing. Apparently, that was the definition they gave us back then. I don't know if that is still being used. Okay, but that is a noun. And so, since a noun should begin with what? A capital letter. And I want that to be the case for Anderson Turner. So I'm going to use the what? The proper what? The proper, not the proper noun. The noun, of course, there's a noun called the proper noun. But I'm going to be using the proper function. So I'm going to come in here and I would say equal to proper. I open my bracket and I click on Anderson Turner, close the bracket, hit enter, and fantastic. It's looking nice. Now we are going to do all of these things. We're going to combine all of these functions together and get something even more amazing. We are going to have the full name. So to get that done, I'm going to come over to this point and I would insert a new column. So I'm going to insert a new column. Okay, just give me a moment. All right, so I'm going to insert a new column and I'll call this full name. Now, this full name is going to contain both names, and it's also going to be cleaned. The data is going to look nice, fresh, and sweet. So how are we going to get this done? I'll say equal to. All right, I'll say equal to. Now go ahead to talk about the first thing I want to do. I want to take off the non-printable characters. So I would say equal to clean. And then I'll click on Johnson. Okay, so I'm going to clean Johnson, or clean is going to be the last. Clean is going to be the last. I want to start with joining both texts together. So I'm going to say concat, and then of course I begin with Johnson, and then I move. I need a space between both texts. I don't want Johnson and Emily together. I need Johnson, Emily, and so I would have space, then my comma, and I would have Emily. So I click on Emily. and I close my bracket. But I'm not done. This would only combine Johnson and Emily together, you see? But we are far from over. So next thing I would like to do, I would like to take off the spaces. Okay, I would like to take off the spaces. All right, so how do I get that done? I'm going to come over here. I'll say substitute, and you're going to notice something. You're going to notice something. So I'll say substitute. I open my bracket. So I'm just going to close my bracket in here for good measure. So I'll come in here. So this concat would be the text. This is the text I'm looking to substitute. And then I'm looking to substitute what? I'm looking to take off what's it called? I'm looking to take off the excuse me. I'm looking to take off the spaces. So I'm going to come over here and say take off space, and then comma, that's the old text with my new text. And if I hit enter, okay, something is wrong with my formula. Let's see. So I have concat, I have comma. Okay, oh, sorry. There should not be a bracket there. Okay, so I hit enter, and I have Johnson Emily. You notice that the substitute function just took off everything. Now, in case if you are wondering, I just said, can I not do this step by step? Like maybe do the first step, then move to the second step instead of combining all functions together. Yes, you can. Okay, but I just want to show you a fun way of doing things. But you can decide to do this step by step so you don't make mistake. Like at first you can combine, the next you take off the space, you take just one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. That works as well. But now we don't have any space. So what can we try to do? I'm going to take off all of this. So we take a look at concat once more. We have Johnson, Emily. All right. So we have the first space, and then we have this other second space. So let's try to see if we can take off the space between me and Lee. All right. Let's try to see if we can take off the space between what? Me and Lee. Or instead of doing that, I don't want to confuse you guys, okay? That might be a bit too technical. Let's go the easy route. The easy route will still make get things done for us. Okay, so instead of doing that, let's do this instead. We're going to combine all of the we're going to take off all of the space. We're going to use stream function to take off the spaces that we don't need. Okay, or rather, instead of doing that, we can go ahead to clean the first name. We clean the first name, we clean the last name, and of course, finally, we combine both of them together, and then we take off the space using the substitute function. Or we start with the substitute function first, and then we do the combination later on, which we should actually do. Okay, so let's start with the substitute function first of all. I'm going to try it. I don't want to just go the easy route of just having so many columns. I want to show you a way we could combine functions together. So what we are going to do, I'm going to come over here. So we're going to start with, let's start with, we know that space will take off, substitute will take off all of the spaces. Okay, so why don't we take off the spaces first before we concat and add in space? Okay, what we are going to do. So we're going to say concat. All right, we're going to say concat, and then under this concat, we're going to, the text we are looking to join together will be the substituted function from Johnson and the substituted function from Emily. All right, so I'll go ahead to say substitute Johnson, comma, the new text, the old text I'm looking to take off. All right, and then the comma, then the new text. And then I have my comma. Then I have my what? My instance number. In this case, I really don't need that. So I'll close my bracket for the substitute function. And then I would have my comma. I would have another substitute function for Emily this time, comma, I want to take off the spaces, comma, I want to replace the spaces with nothing, and then I close the function. All right. So once I hit enter, let's see. I think I might be having some issues. So I have my substitutes. I have comma. All right. I just want to see where the problem is coming from. I think I've gotten something wrong. Probably a comma where there should not be a comma. Okay, so let me try this out. Let's give it a moment. Okay. Yes, so there's an issue. So we have the text, we have the old text, we have the new text. So why is this giving me a value? Why is this giving me an error? I'm pretty sure there's something I'm missing right now. Maybe anyone on the call might be able to identify that since we've taken a look at the substitute function already. So why is the substitute function not working right now? It should take off the space from Johnson. Okay, so I might need to clean the data first of all. Let me try that. Still nothing. Oh, I have a comma. I have a comma after this. Okay, I have a comma after this. So I have C4, I hit enter, and now we have Johnson. Okay, and so let's try this again, and let's see if this works. If this doesn't work, then we just have to go the normal route. So I know some of us on the call, we already have some knowledge of data analytics, of data science, of data engineering, because of course, you are registered on the Amdawi platform. If you are not, then you're very, very wrong. Okay, so get on Amdawi right now. Get to learn more different projects. Get to on your skills. So this so you of course moving on, you're learning more and more. So what I'm trying to do is to show you a more unique way of getting things done working with Excel. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to say substitute, and then I have my comma. Let's see if this works this time. I substitute. This would be D4, comma. Then I have my old text. And what's my old text? My old text would be my space, comma. Then my new text without the space. Then I'll close my brackets. So let's see. I wonder if this would work. So it says I've entered too many arguments. Substitutes. So we have clean. Oh, this should not be clean. This should actually be concat. Okay. So I hit enter and it works now. Great. All right. So it works now. So the issues we were having previously, I had a comma somewhere at this point, and that was messing up the entire function. All right. So there should not have been a comma at this point. So now I have my concat. We've been able to join Johnson and Emily together using what? The concat. And we also use the substitutes to take off the what? The spaces. But now we want to add in a space between Johnson and Emily. So I'm going to come back to my function, and then at that middle, I would add in my space. Don't let this confuse you. Okay, don't let this confuse you. Like I said, please, you can always go the route. You can go the route of doing this one at a time. That is, you can work with the concat function on one column, and then go to another column, then apply a new function on that other column using referencing the past column you worked on. Okay, so that works. That's an easy way. But this is fast. If you are able to get a hang of this, this would increase your productivity like tenfold. So you're able to get things done a whole lot, faster. So we have what? the space now. So this is saying concat. This is saying join this text and this text and give them a space between. And then we have this. What is the next thing we are going to do? Take off non-printable characters, I believe. So how do I take off non-printable characters? I'm going to go ahead to say clean. So I'll come over here and I would say clean. So what I'm going to do, after I'm done with this method, I would show you the other methods that you can do using what multiple columns for those, so everyone understands. Okay, for those that might be like, oh, what are you even doing now? You've lost me. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can add in, how you can do this work with instead of writing the various functions together, you can just write them singly in different columns. Okay, so I have my clean. I would open my brackets. Don't forget, I would have to close my brackets at the end of the function, and I will hit enter. And I have what? Johnson, Emily. What's the last thing I want to do? I want to make this a proper noun or a noun. Okay, like the capital letter J, capital letter E. So I'm not going to add in proper. So I'll come over here and I would say proper. I'll open my brackets and I'll close my brackets at the end of the function. I'll hit enter and I have Johnson, Emily. Just like magic. Now, I don't have the time to, there's no time for me to copy this function and paste on every one of these columns. So I'm going to use the autofill feature. On my active cell on Johnson Emily, you'd see at this point, there is this little, there's this darkened box. Okay, there's this darkened box at this point. So by double clicking on that box, everything, it uses the referencing, this time absolute referencing, and you can see it copies that function down to the last. And we can see Scott, Caleb, Turner, Lily, everything is cleaned. Louis, there's no box. There are no spaces. As you can see, there's a space in white, but we have white somewhere. The data is looking nice, sweet, clean. So this is how you clean data. Now, for some of us that might be wondering, so how can I do this the other way? So something else you can do, you can come over. So you can come over to this point. So you can do things one at a time. So you can first of all say, oh, I want to clean my data set. So you come over here and you say clean, open bracket. So you can do this in a column. I just want to show it to you at this point. Okay. So clean Johnson. All right, clean Johnson. You hit enter. So you've cleaned Johnson. And then you come over to another point and you say clean Emily as well. So you don't need to clean Emily though, but you want to add clean Emily just in case there are some functions at the bottom that you need to clean, that take off the non-printable characters when you're using the drop down. That's the autofill, the referencing. So I can say clean Emily as well. Okay, clean Emily as well. Oh, now I've been able to clean Emily and Johnson. What is the next thing I want to do? I want to what? I want to take off the space from Johnson and Emily. So I can now come over to this point and I'll say equal to, let's say substitute. I use the substitute function for Johnson. I'll say substitute. All right, substitute space. That's substitute for Johnson. Now I have to select this Johnson I've worked on already, not this old Johnson. No, this one I just worked on. So I'm going to come over here and I'll click on this Johnson. Then I'll say comma. I want to take off my brackets, my space. So I'd say space. And I have my comma, and then I want to take replace that with an empty cell. And I hit enter, and I see I have Johnson. All right, I can do the same for Emily as well at this point. And then after Johnson and Emily, they are both clean. I can also now come over to maybe another column and then add these two functions and then add those two columns together. That's, I'll now use concat to join Johnson and Emily. So I'm just going to be doing it one at a time, instead of having to combine the functions this way. All right, so that works as well. Okay, but when you have been able to master how you can get that done, that's using one at a time, you also want to start learning how to combine Excel functions so things are easier for you. So, are we enjoying ourselves so far? If that's the case, I want you to send, remember, TGIF to the chat box. If we're enjoying ourselves so far, I want you to send a what? A TGIF to the chat box. And you know I need to see some TGIFs. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Bimbo. Thank you, Messi. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, thank you, Tommy Watt. Thank you, Chinaza. Fantastic. Now, unfortunately, this is where we are going to be ending. I know we are having fun, but this is where we are going to be ending right now. Like I said, we are going to go straight to the point. We'll hit the nail on the head. We'll get things done, and then of course we'll move on. So we've been able to pre-process this data. There are still some other data cleaning functions. Of course, I won't. We did not cover all aspects of data cleaning, but what we've been able to take a look at are very, very pivotal, especially the substitute function. The substitute function can help you do a lot of things. Okay, so that is it. Please ensure you go to the recording if you are not able to practice alongside, so you can later on you can go ahead to go ahead to practice, and of course try this out yourself and do something amazing. All right, I thank you everyone. I think I'm going to hand over to Omolbi now. All right, so Omolbi, are you there on the call?
Yes, I am here. Thank you so much, Ise, for the session. It's been, I believe everybody got value. Guys, please, if you learned something, one or two, just give Ise a thumbs up. Tell him thank you. I have learned. I believe everybody else on the call also gained a thing or two. So it's so great to have you with us, I say once again. Thank you so much for the session. I've learned how to do data cleaning, trimming, and all of that in Excel. So don't worry, the first time I try something like that, I'm going to tag you on LinkedIn. I say this is my
Of
instructor.
course.
All right. Thank you so much, I say. And we have people
Oh.
saying thank you in the chats. We have thank you from um Mercy, thank you from Victor, thank you from Johnson, from Chinaza, thank you. Ayodeji also says thank you. You too much. So yeah, take your flowers. Thank you so much, Ise, for making this valuable and impactful. We really, really
Thank you,
appreciate
everyone.
that.
Thank you, everyone.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
everyone.
much, guys, for
Take care.
joining and staying till the end of the session. I believe you got value, and please would like you to talk about what you've learned here today and just share it on LinkedIn. Yeah, just share it on LinkedIn, whatever you've learned. You can even try your hands on it. I know ISE provided a data set. You can try your hands on it. Tag ISE, tag Amdari. Would love to see all of that. Would love to see your post, your comments, and your feedback about the practical session. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. So we're wrapping up shortly. So I'd like to know if anyone would love to be jumping on the Amdari platform very soon. You'd love to be, taking advantage of the job board that we have on the platform. You'd love to take advantage of the projects that we have on the platform. Please give us a thumbs up. Just, I want to see the sign so that my colleague can reach out and be in touch. Bimbo is interested, Johnson, Elizabeth. All right, thank you. And I hope you guys have filled the attendance form. If you haven't done that, please do so. Would love to see your would love to take attendance. Chigozie also. All right, Ayodeji is on it. I guess you're referring to the attendance. All right. Oduayo says, I actually didn't know the usefulness of that clean function until this session. Thank you.